Beloved heart, before we begin, I have a special gift for you. If you've been feeling the intensity of Earth's rising plasma light codes and want to stay centered in your body and heart and energy field, I've created a free light language quantum grounding activation just for you. This transmission will help you stabilize, integrate, and align with the new frequencies flowing onto the planet. Simply join my mailing list. See the link that's in the show notes to receive instant access. Let's ground into the light together.
This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, my galactic brothers and sisters. I have a special message that I want to share. First of all, thank you for welcome back to another episode on my podcast, Ascended Earth. I'm Monica Bermudez. I'm the host for this podcast. I'm a quantum purpose activator, a cosmic channeler, and also a fellow traveler of this incredible journey of awakening. And in this message, I want to talk more about, I want to share three top keys to assist with the rising frequency that is occurring right now because things are really moving at a very quantum shift, quantum speed of energies. Um, and today we're talking about a topic that many of you have been asking about recently. A lot of people have been talking about this more so as well, which is in relation to the Schumann resonance and the heightened energetic activity and why empaths seem to be feeling everything so intensely right now. And perhaps you've been feeling more emotional than usual. And I know that I have, especially this past week, leading up to this new moon, supermoon in Gemini that we just had the heightened energy of on June 14th. But I could say that this new moon, normally every new moon is all about, new beginnings. This one really felt like a spontaneous new beginning energy vibe to it, but it also felt very much like a releasing. And there was, like it felt like the emotional baggage are releasing going on or a completion cycle. At least that's how I was feeling for the entire day for during the heightened energy. But of course, there was, there's a combination of many celestial events occurring as well as we're leading up into the Mercury retrograde phase. Then we have the June solstice, which is the summer solstice for the northern hemisphere, and it's the winter solstice for the southern hemisphere. And so, all of it serves as a gateway, it's a big portal, it's a big shift. And I feel like this year of 2026 just really feels even more intense than usual. And every year is going to continue to intensify because what is being released, which is a form of collapse, that is a dissolving of old cycles in relation to ancestral wounds and karmic wounds as well, especially if you've been doing a lot of inner work lately. A lot of this, was clearing up for this new moon, supermoon as well. And so there's been a combination of many energies, especially if, your sleep feels like it's being disrupted during certain period of times in the middle of the night. And perhaps you've noticed, old memories resurfacing, strange dreams, waves of exhaustion followed by bursts of creativity or a sense that your intuition has suddenly become amplified. And actually on June 14th, with this heightened energy of this new moon, it really felt like it was a burnout of eons, especially those who are like really highly sensitive and empaths, which are really for me like my galactic brothers and galactic sisters, which is most likely you if you're listening to this. So a lot of the star seeds as well, those who have incarnated for so many lifetimes on this earth, as human. To me, it just felt like that was the accumulation of all those lifetimes, like a convergence of timelines coming together. And being amplified to the point of just like being so burnt out from all of that. So all of that was just being like released within this portal. And so with that was creating or shifting into this new timeline, a collective consciousness timeline, as well as individual, but quantum leaping into your new spontaneous new beginning of, this new timeline that has, emerged through you. And it all stems from the intentions that you ground in that moment, especially if you're using this super moon, new moon for that, energy, taking advantage of that energy to really set those intentions as well for yourself. So, um, and it's not too late either if you're listening to this later, because intentions can always be set, every day. Um, it's just that the new moon amplifies the energy even more. So that's what I really sense from this energy, this collective, consciousness, which really led to this message here in this episode that I want to share. So if you've been feeling a lot of this, you're not alone. Um, in all of this. Many are feeling this everywhere. Across the globe, many sensitive souls are reporting similar experiences. Now, before we begin, I want to remind you that everyone's experience is unique. What I am sharing today is my perspective as a channel, intuitive, and observer of the collective consciousness. What I find so fascinating is that many empaths notice energetic shifts before they become visible in the physical world as well. The sensitive soul is often like an antenna, and I would say like a cosmic or galactic antenna. You're receiving information from the field before the mind can really fully understand it as well. And that brings us to the Schumann resonance, which the Schumann resonance also was spiking a lot during this heightened new moon. And it was doing a lot of interesting things last week as well. Like there was a lot of gaps in the chart. Normally science would say that it's probably like a equipment interruption or something, but it just happens so often that I don't see that, as being a coincidence or an accident. And in fact, there really aren't any accidents. So the universe speaks in different ways, and it will give us the signs in all different ways as well. There's a divine order in chaos. The Schumann resonance is often referred as the heartbeat of Earth, if you didn't know already. It is a naturally occurring electromagnetic frequency generated between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. And so, what gets it so triggered, so heightened, that the chart shows these intense fluctuations of energy on them, the white spikes, is that a lot of the geomagnetic storm from the sun, the solar flare, solar flash, combination of many things being hit with different electromagnetic frequency will spike up, the heartbeat as well, which we're involved in all of this as well. That's why we're here in these physical bodies. For that reason, was to embody this new energy, this new human way of being. And really new human is not really like new, but it's a renewal because where we're shifting into is more of our original, human blueprint, but it is renewed. Renewed in such a way because we also come with a lot of wisdom from the lifetimes that we've gathered, so much experience, which with that comes, the wisdom of the heart itself that is engraved within our Akashic record, that is part of our every aspect of our cell, and especially our heart. Our heart is a really big key for all of this ascension and awakening. From a mystical perspective, many people view these fluctuations as indicators of shifts occurring with collective field of consciousness. So, yeah, so this is, like more in relation to our consciousness as well, because the electromagnetic energy itself impacts how, we see life, how we see ourselves. So that's why a lot more questioning is coming up, a lot more releasing is occurring with that as well. Um, but it is an aspect of our consciousness that is expanding. So I like to bridge these things, from a scientific, from a spiritual and mystical aspect as well. And it's becoming increasingly even more clear, that we're changing. Humanity is changing. The old ways of operating are dissolving or collapsing. And, as we begin to evolve and change and shift, we're starting to see more of the corruption because and we're also saying we don't want to be a part of this corruption anymore. So then it comes down to like, what is it that you want, right? Obviously, we want more to have more of our freedom, and that includes in all the resources that we have, in our time and what we do, here as humans, even though time and space don't really exist. But, this is just the way that the world is, when these physical bodies that time has been constructed in this way. And many of us are learning how to like navigate a much more energetic reality, timeline shift or becoming more aware of the timeline reality shifts as well. And the question is not whether, the frequencies are changing. The question is whether we know how to dance with them or navigate around these certain frequencies. And today I want to share these keys that have helped me navigate these heightened quantum energies. So I want to share this with you, so that you are also empowered with this and getting out of this, fear or overwhelm mode. But it's really just meant for an empowerment. And before, I really get into these keys, I want to just basically just explain a little bit about what an empath is, in case you don't know. And according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the empath is one who experiences the emotions of others, a person who has empathy for others. So this is the way I've seen an empath, is also like a sponge of emotions, sponge of energies. And this has just been my personal experience as well because I am an empath and I'm also a highly sensitive person. So there are some distinctions, some differences between the two, but there's also an empath also has some of the sensitivity as well. Um, and I've been observing myself and also observing others, around my circle who are both an empath or a highly sensitive person. A highly sensitive person is really an individual possessing an innate trait known as sensory processing sensitivity. And to me, so psychologists have their own way of explaining it, right? But to me, from my experience, from what I've noticed, is that highly sensitive actually is more sensitive to like sound, to color, to light, more sensitive to taste. And so there is some of this sensitivity with, especially when it comes to certain music or like when you're talking to somebody and you listen to somebody's tone of voice or somebody's yelling, a sensitive can really feel that to the core of their bones. And that is really what a highly sensitive person is as well. As well as, you could have like sensitive skin or like sensitive feet. I have like the most sensitive feet you can ever imagine. I can barely walk on like hot sand because it really burns my feet. So a lot of times, I've noticed that a lot of healers, especially channelers, have more of this highly sensitivity as well. Um, so I just wanted to just point that out in case you're wondering between an empath and a highly sensitive. And so now diving into like a lot of the galactic beings, a lot of star seeds, I find are more highly sensitive and more of an empath as well because it is an innate inheritance, I would say, from our soul. It is a superpower ability, and that's the way I've seen them as being this superpower of aspect as one of the aspects of our abilities, but we have even much more, of our extrasensory abilities that are unfolding. It's just a matter of like working through it and learning, to navigate these frequencies, these energies, and this rising, vibrational frequency on this planet, which is the ones that I'm about to share with you as well, that will assist you with this too. So, number one thing is to strengthen your inner frequency before observing the outer frequency. So, one of the greatest challenges for empaths and highly sensitives as well is that we often observe the energy before we realize what we're doing. We realize, we're doing it, and sometimes we may not be so aware. For some, may not be so aware, but this will bring up the awareness more because this is more like a transmission message, is to really help you with that awareness. So we walk into a room and suddenly just feel anxious. This is, what an empath would feel like. You walk in a room and it suddenly just feels like anxious. Or you could be like scrolling through social media and feel emotionally depleted. Have a conversation with someone and find yourself carrying these emotional states, hours later. And for years, I believed this meant that I had to feel everything. And now I understand something different, that sensitivity is not the ability to absorb everything, is the ability to discern what belongs to you and what does not. So this is the other aspect of the sensitivity that which is why I consider it to be a superpower as well, is that you can use that superpower for your own discernment to be able to notice where it is that things are dragging you down, where things are not serving you, and where there is time to cleanse or clear yourself, or not get so involved in certain of those activities or places, or being aware where you're navigating yourself as well. So as energetic, activity increases, the skill becomes essential. So many empaths mistake collective energy for personal energy. Sometimes we're carrying other people's stories or energetic cores with us, especially if you spend your time thinking about it over and over again. Certain people, you probably have like a lot of cores attached, and that is energetic cores. And you can feel them in certain parts of your body. It could either be felt in the heart, could be felt in the solar plexus, because I found like a lot of the major chakra points also will connect, certain energetic cords to certain um, aspect that we're going through in that moment, that we're overthinking, over analyzing. Um, so not every emotion you feel is yours, not every fear you experience belongs to you, and not every energetic wave is your responsibility. So one of the most powerful questions to ask yourself is, what is actually mine in this moment? Beloved, if you're craving deeper connection, intuitive expansion, and consistent energetic support, join me inside the Frequency Resonance Lounge. This is a monthly Master Heart Circle, moon ceremonies that includes the full and new moon, and a private community for connections. Link is in the show notes. What is actually yours in this moment? And notice what shifts. Notice what falls away, and notice what remains. Um, and so this is not to say that this is going to be a blame game either. It's just, being accountable what energy that you decide to accept to be yours as well. And when you do release and let go and dissolve these, that they be dissolved and released through love and compassion, without the judgment, without the criticism, but coming from a neutral space of observation. And the more that you strengthen your own frequency, the less likely you will be to become lost in this collective field as well. So remember this, your purpose is not to carry the world's energy or carry the entire world on your shoulders. So especially if you're having like shoulder pain, that could be that you're trying to carry too much energy, and that will definitely burn you out. Your purpose is really to embody your own light. Take a breath every instant that you can. Place your awareness on your heart as often as possible, and just the more that you do it, the more it becomes natural to you. And ask yourself, what frequency am I choosing to embody today? Because your frequency becomes your reality. and not the noise around you or the distortion or manipulation or the distractions that are occurring more than ever before. So your frequency, it's your frequency, it's your energy, and it's your energy to hold. It's not about you giving your energy away. It's not about you taking on others' energy, but it's really about managing the energy that is within you and what you allow to and accept to come into your field as well. And so that's why these are important points to really discern what they are, to be able to continuously protect yourself, your energetic field, as well too. Number two thing is to ground into the earth while expanding into the cosmos. So one of the greatest misconceptions in spirituality is that evolution requires us to leave the earth behind. Um, we're not really here to embody this body just to feel the pain and suffering and then say that I want to escape, the earth or leave this earth. Many of us, volunteer to be here at this time during this collective great awakening, collective great shift on the earth. We didn't exactly, choose to be suffering and in pain all the time. The ones who really volunteer, which is you, and, a lot of us who are here, especially who are highly sensitive and empaths, chose certain particular events, I would say, in their life um, to complete a cycle because this is what is accumulation of like many lifetimes as a human. And we are very powerful ourselves. Otherwise, we wouldn't be coming here if we weren't as powerful. So really attaining that PhD level of initiation in this school of earth, um, to really complete those cycles as human and the many lifetimes that many of us have had. And I'm speaking to a lot of the starseeds and the galactic brothers and sisters who are listening to this. And so that's really what's been occurring with the shift as so most of us knew that, we're getting front row seat and more to this show, this event of this renewal into the new human. So the renewed human stepping into our abilities as extrasensory abilities and our superpowers that we hold within ourselves, more so our multidimensional aspect. And so we are returning, reconnecting ourselves back to its original source that we were always meant to be. And so there's been too much of this frequency distortion and manipulation to try to hold us back from achieving that, but it's actually backfiring on the shadow that is trying to hold us back. And so that's why it's so important that we come together and that we start with ourselves, first of all, because the effects that you bring by your own healing and your own reintegration is a rippling effect to others around your community and your neighborhood, and eventually, the country you find yourself in the world itself. And then it has that rippling effect across the universe, and the universe has the rippling effect into the multiverse. So we are returning back to our rightful divine inheritance of who we were always meant to be. We're meant to be in abundance. We're meant to be whole in so many ways. So what is shifting is really the separation, the illusion of the separation, the illusion of the competition, and being more in tune with our inheritance of having the abundance of our life. So shifting that whole lack mindset as well, or the illusion of lack. Um, and I know, like, for so many, especially if you have many lifetimes, for those who are highly sensitive and empaths, in many of those lifetimes, there may have been like many vows that were engraved and contracts in relation to lack. And so what is being released a lot of, and it's coming in through different layers of, doesn't happen overnight, but things shift, releasing a lot of those layers of lack and just being aware, where your thoughts are going and what your thoughts are saying right now. So that's why, uh, this is not the time, the misconception of leaving your body of when things get really tough. This is a moment to really face them. It takes a lot of courage to do this, a lot of energy as well. But what I found is like when you do face it more now, it's going to move at a much faster rate than ever before. So you may be feeling this emotional baggage right now, but the more that you sit with it, the faster it will move through you and it will feel like seconds rather than days and months and years. So I share this because personally I've been noticing this you know, and I have found that it's important to be in our bodies for this reason to be facing whatever is coming up right now. So what has become, increasingly clear to me is that Earth is not simply a place we inhabit. Earth is a conscious participant in our evolution. And many people focus on opening their own crown chakra, activating psychic gifts, connecting with galactic consciousness, and receiving higher wisdom. And these things are beautiful, but if your roots, are weak, heightened energy can feel destabilizing as well. So even if you're receiving downloads of information in your crown chakra, it's very important that you also remain grounded to earth as well. So imagine trying to run a massive amount of electricity through a tiny wire and the system becomes overloaded. The same can happen to us energetically. So we are like these electrical components, our nervous system gets overloaded, overheated, overwhelmed. And so that's why the grounding is the very key aspect to all of this as well. The greater the frequency available to you, the stronger your foundation must become. And I often tell people the new human is both cosmic and earthly. So we're really bringing in, anchoring in through us as conduits, heaven on earth. We bring heaven on earth. We are the ones, the catalyst point for the earth itself to be that heaven on earth. So um, we're being active participants by being here in these physical bodies as well, and working and navigating through these frequencies, these energies, and being with whatever is coming up to be released in the moment. Whether that be, some shadow aspect that's uncomfortable and unpleasant. And this is the part that requires a lot of courage and a lot of bravery as well. We are both divine and human in physical form, and both expansive and embodied. And you're not here to escape reality. You're here to transform it, transmute it. And one visualization I love is imagining the roots extending from the base of your body deep into the crystalline heart of Earth. And at the same time, imagine a column of light extending upward into the source consciousness. And the heart becomes your bridge of these two, of the source consciousness, but also the roots under your feet. And it becomes that conduit of the heaven on earth, the heaven, that you are the portal of the new human. The new human is the renewed human. You're a living conduit, a walking transmission, and so you balance both the heaven and earth, in between. This is where stability is found. This is where clarity emerges, and this is where your gifts flourish as well. So ask yourself, how can I become stronger vessel for the frequencies I am receiving? But being more in this present moment, being more embodied, because presence is also very important right now to remain in that presence, to be able to hold, the balance of the energies as well. And the last thing, number three, move from a reaction into resonance. So the mastery of the energies, the mastery of the light, moving from reactionary to being more into the resonance of the frequency. This may be the most important key of all. So when heightened energies move to the collective field, many hidden things begin to surface. Old wounds, fear, ancestral patterns, self-doubt, limiting beliefs, you name it, a load of things, and can feel so overwhelming sometimes. And when these things rise, many people immediately assume something is wrong, the things are going backward, and I've been saying this myself, feels like things are going backwards or that there's a failure or something, or healing has disappeared. But what if, the opposite is true? What if, something that is surfacing is actually leaving and you're getting into this breakthrough? Um, so the energies are coming into this awareness because they are ready to be completed. And I have witnessed this repeatedly. So the quantum field doesn't reveal what is broken, it reveals what is ready to transform. And this is why awareness is so important. Rather than reacting to every emotional wave, become curious about it. Curiosity is part of the divine child, I would say. So really these are keys that are more in tune with your divine inner child in the process of simultaneously healing your inner child wounds as well by asking the curious question as to like, what is this showing me and what wisdom is hidden, here, what wants to be released. And the observer is powerful. The observer creates space. The observer allows the transformation, and reaction creates resistance. Resonance creates the evolution, and the old world taught us to react more than anything. So the old world was really more of this toxic patriarch energy, was more reactionary, more controlling, or wanting to control more things. The emerging consciousness invites us to resonate, to choose to align, to consciously create. Every challenge carries information, every trigger creates insight, and every energetic wave creates an invitation. And perhaps that invitation is asking you to become more of who you truly are. And as we begin to close today's episode, I want to leave you with this message. The sensitive souls were never meant to be overwhelmed by these times. They were, here, you came here for them. You came here to be. You came here to experience. You came here to be initiated to that next level of PhD as well. But you came here because you possess the ability to feel beyond the visible, and you came here because your heart remembers the different ways of living. You came here because you're helping anchor a new frequency on this planet. Whether you realize this or not, the shifts you're feeling are not evidence that something is wrong. They may simply be evidence that something is changing and evolving. The earth is evolving, humanity is evolving, and you're evolving too. And that's trust what is unfolding. Trust your inner wisdom and trust your heart. And this trust will come more natural the more that you attune to your higher self and your own higher guidance and being more with yourself as well. And that is, includes also being with whatever is coming up, whether it feels uncomfortable at the moment as well. Most importantly, trust your resonance, because resonance becoming the language of the new human. So thank you so much for being here right now, and I will catch you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.